Hello again guys, welcome back to another Big Al Devlin video here at the House of Devlin. This is the second sort of progress video, or the first I suppose progress video that I'm filming on my MMA preparation. I say it's the first stroke second because the first one was a sort of base standard where I was at the beginning. This is where I've progressed to, or regressed to, because any who follow the channel know that I've broken my ankle over the last, since I filmed the last video twice. I've broken it just falling because of brain damage that I have from a car crash from a couple of years ago. So it's not easy training when you have a broken ankle and keeping your gains, so to speak, and keeping your size and strength and your fitness. But there are ways, and as you will see, I filmed a video of me just simply being in the gym, acting not as a spot, because I can't act as a spot, but just acting as encouragement to guys out there who encourage me to train and try and get me as best as possible, you know. They help me with my strength, my conditioning. There's a couple of guys out there who you may see filmed over the next few weeks and months who will be helping me progress my fighting skills also. But obviously I can't do those ones at the moment because of my ankle, and that will be sparring anyway. So it'll be more like I am of a higher level than my sparring partners, so it'll be more of me kind of teaching them rather than anything else. But trust me, when you're a teacher, you learn an astounding amount, especially when it comes to things like martial arts. When you start teaching something, you start to learn an astounding amount. You see the mistakes that you made or still do make possibly in your students, and you think, well, I can't teach them that mistake, I can't propagate it down the generations, I've got to correct it. So I correct it in them, and also correct it in myself. Now they obviously will continue making that mistake because they're common mistakes, but as a teacher you have to be 100% a lot of the time. It's impossible to be 100% perfect. It is, but you strive for it. Whereas when you're a student or a teacher, you've got that, a student or just someone learning a little bit of martial arts, you've got that little bit of an excuse. Even if you are preparing for a fight, well, I don't have to be perfect because I just have to be just good enough to do what I want to do. I have to be good enough to lose a bit of weight, or I have to be good enough to be able to defend myself in the ring against an opponent and win a fight, which is high levels, but it's not perfect regards technical elements. Because when you make mistakes with technique, when there are minor mistakes, they will not be picked up on. You can see them on the camera. You know, when I watch fights on the television or on the internet or anything like that, I admit I watch fights and I see the mistakes that people are making. But I think if I was in the position of the fighter on top, what would I do? Yes, I would do this and I do that and I'll exploit the mistake. But I think where they are, how they're looking, how they're positioned, and how tired they may be feeling at that point in time, would I be able to exploit that mistake? No, probably not. And so making technical errors isn't the be all and end all. You know, you make a major error, you know, and you go up against someone who knows how to utilize that. For example, I don't know, you don't block kicks properly, for example. You don't raise your leg in a proper manner. You have it so that your foot is pointing downwards rather than a sort of a parallel to the ground motion position. But if you've got a downward foot, all they're going to do is going to throw in the kick onto the foot rather than onto the leg, and they're going to break your ankle like I've got at the moment. So they're going to take advantage of that if you keep repeating the same mistake again and again and again. Obviously they're not going to expect you to make such a basic amateur mistake like that, but you know, you'd be surprised what you do when you're tired. You would be surprised what you do when you've got adrenaline in you and stuff like this. So as I say, the fact that I do teach martial arts as a living, or part of my living, is highly beneficial to me, and I think it will really help me in the future regards my own fights, and get me into good position. But first of all, I need to heal. I am doing a variety of things to heal. I'm taking calcium tablets and stuff like that, you know, vitamins and stuff, to make sure that I've got enough calcium to repair the bones. There's 2 breaks in my ankle, I think, when I got it chipped out. And also on top of that, I'm also taking it easy in the gym. I'm not doing nothing. I did go back for, you know, a couple of light sessions, and it hurt, but that's what I want to do. As soon as my ankle is stable enough, before it's healed, I will be going back down to the gym. So don't worry, guys. Sometime next week, I'm hoping I will be down the gym, even if it's to do a bit of cycling. You know, I did that on Friday. Yesterday actually. After helping my partner, well, one of the guys that helps me with my strength conditioning, I did a bit of bike with him and a bit of arms after. Sorry, I'm standing in an awkward position because obviously my leg's hurting me, so I'm trying to support all my weight on my right leg. I after helping him with the deadlift, well, I didn't really help him. I just watched him and encouraged him. But after he did his deadlift, which was amazing, seeing 250 kilograms being pulled, I can't do that. It's amazing. It's inspiring. I'm lucky to have someone who can show me the way to go. Okay, especially for when you consider that was a man in his 60s. The point I was really making was then he said afterwards, "Oh, you fancy a bit of arms?" Now I was in my jeans, my leather jacket, and everything like that, so I hadn't got changed to go to the gym to train. I was very serious. I'm not doing anything. I thought, well, didn't do anything to the ankle really. Sometimes if you push down in the ground, it can happen, and it did happen at one point. I pushed down into the ground a little bit harder than I should have. I think that's why I felt a lot of pain last night and I had to go to the hospital this morning to get a scan, because it was hurting a lot more than normal. But that's where I had confirmed I got 2 breaks in there. But the good news is, however, is that I will continue to do that kind of thing. Maybe I've done it too soon, I don't know, but you know, a bit of cycling, a little bit of arms, a little bit of shoulders, things like this, stuff that doesn't put pressure through the ankle or through the foot. This is training that I can do. So, you know, I'm going to end up, I never train arms. So for those guys who've never seen any of my training videos or followed it over the years, which I don't blame you, I've been on here for 4 or 5 years, and at the beginning, the quality of my videos weren't as good quality as they are now. I'm not saying the brilliant quality at the moment, but they were inferior quality to what you see here. I haven't trained arms pretty much ever. There's the odd workout on here showing you me doing arms, and I've done that really more for your benefit. I've done it because the camera's there, and I thought, well, I'll show them how I train arms. But if the camera wasn't there, I wouldn't have done it. And so I never train arms. I never train biceps. I train a little bit of triceps every now and then because it is useful for bench press, but I never train biceps. Never have. And I've been training since I was 18 in weightlifting. Well, 16, but seriously, since I was 18. And believe it or not, I actually, between 16 and 18, did train biceps. But then when I got serious into weightlifting, I stopped training biceps. The reason for that, I'm not a bodybuilder. I like to lift big weights. Biceps don't really help you lift those big compound lifts like your deadlift, your squat, your bench press, shoulder press. Biceps aren't really used in that, so I never train biceps. So the fact that I've got a tape measure somewhere around here, I hope I did have a tape measure. I will pause the video if I don't, and I'll go looking for it. So I have to be careful the way I position myself. Right, well, I did have a tape measure, and I'm sure I've got it. I think they're in my jeans pocket, so I've taken my jeans off so you can see my legs, because obviously I'm going to do a pose down as part of this. That's the deal. That's what I've done. Part of my MMA prep, I let you see what I look like, so you can comment on any progress or regression. And I imagine this This month, or this video, will be one of regression because I haven't been able to train properly. I've been eating well. I've done a lot of fitness work, a lot more than normal, simply because I can't do weights as much as I normally do. So I may actually have lost a little bit of fat. I don't know, but I was very strong on arms when I did arms, so you know my strength's still there. But it's about time I started doing something proper soon, because otherwise I might lose just a little bit of strength. So obviously upper body, here we go. You know, here's me, tattoos and all. So if I can get a little bit closer to you guys so you can see a little bit more up close. So you can see I'm trying to show you the fitness of my chest. As I say, I'm not a bodybuilder, so I'm not trying to pose in a particular way that looks good. I'm just trying to show you guys what my body is, okay, where its strengths are. You know, I've got quite big shoulders, as you can see, and my chest does pop out quite a bit. I have a 52-inch chest that I'll show you on the measurements. Regards my my abs, sorry, if you don't mind, I'll just hold my cane for this. That's me relaxed. That's me kind of bent over, not really, you know, bad posture. So you can see that I've got I haven't really got much of a belly, but you know, when you kind of bent over like that, it pushes the belly out. So that's how the belly looks like when I sort of bend over. But normally, obviously, I'd be stood like this. And this is me in a relaxed position. So you can see my abs right other side. And you can see, if I get as close as I can, you can see, yeah, you can pull off a little bit, but it's mostly, I don't know, loose skin, a bit of water. It's not a lot of fat there, not a lot at all. It is tight, you know, if I was to, right, it's a solid metal and fiberglass shaft, so it's gonna hurt. You know, you can see there's not much bounce. There is a little bit around the belly button, okay? So you can see I've got a little bit of excess weight there, which you'd expect. Lower abdomen, but upper abdomen is very tight, and you can actually hear it. I don't know if the percussion was picking up on the camera there, but you could actually hear the the stick bouncing off me, and I was hitting myself quite hard. And you can see one of the advantages of having tattoos is it stops you, because my skin is very pale naturally, and as a result, when you got pale skin, you show redness and soreness, and you know when you're tired, you go red in the face very quickly, red in the cheeks, and so having tattoos actually hides a bit of that. So tattoos, they're not there for that, but they're an advantage, having them. My arms, ooh, you can tell I trained them yesterday. Oh, they were tight then. They got tight. My arms, as you can see, they're pretty big. I do have quite a bit of bicep, but not too much to stop me when I, you know, say when I throw a jab, for example, the bicep's not getting in the way of, you know, the punches. Whereas if I was, say, bicep like that, I couldn't really hook you properly, and you do get that a lot with bodybuilders. So I can move freely, and I can flow, which is what I want. So I'm trying to maintain that kind of fighter's physique, and so I'm kind of glad that I haven't trained biceps in a long time. But at the same time, it's nice to have, you know, big peaks on your biceps. So you never know. If this ankle takes a long time to heal, I'd end up going from, I've got roughly 18-inch arms, maybe 21-inch arms. You never know. It'd be good, wouldn't it? Gain 3 inches around the arms. What do they say? Kills for the girls. Well, I mean, yeah, that's not going to happen. I'm with my woman, but nonetheless, she likes a big arm anyway. So it'd be nice for her to develop the arms up a little bit. Chest, as I say, It looks a bit saggy, to be honest, but it's rock hard, as you can see. Okay, and then if I turn around, and that's why, guys, I never went to bodybuilding. Can't pose for shit. But nonetheless, hopefully it shows you the size of the back. I don't know if you can see the thickness from the side. I've got quite a thick back, you know. I do have a strong back, and I can pick people up very easily, and have done in fights before. Not that I should really admit that, but I picked people up and spiked them when doing security, so we say, or protecting myself or protecting my friends. They've come at me, so I've just picked them up and it's gone bang. It's a good way to end the fight straight away, but it's not something that you would often do, and I haven't done that for years. That was in the nightclubs, like everyone does when they're teenagers, right? So even as a teenager, when I was skinny, I weighed about 13 stone then, I could still pick up a proper full-size bloke. So now it's a lot easier, and I have done it as practice, and I can pick a bloke up very, very easily. So, if I start developing throws and wrestling moves into my mixed martial arts sort of technique, that would supplement my fighting very well, because I'm trained in Muay Thai, so I'm a very good striker, and that's my speciality, Muay Thai. So I'm very good at punching, elbows, knees, kicks, and I'm very good in the clinch. I have no groundwork. The only groundwork I have is that what I learnt on the streets, essentially, doing door work and defending myself. Say when you're in nightclubs and people try and attack you and stuff, sometimes you get put down on the ground. Baptism of fire, So I've learnt a bit of groundwork, but mostly for door work, because often when people are struggling, you grab them, and sometimes it can easily fall down onto the ground, especially as they're drunk. And you actually try and control their fall, because you don't want to hurt them, but even though they're trying to hurt you, but you do end up on the ground, and you need to know things like basic submissions, like a rear neck choke and arm bars and stuff. I will not be using in my fights arm bars, ankle locks, or triangle chokes or anything like that, because I'm not trained enough in them, and I'm not willing to put time in to learn them. However, I'm aware of them, and I will be defending myself. I know how to defend myself against those kind of submissions. One is, if I'm more powerful than my opponent, you can just use strength to get out of it, believe it or not. A lot of BJJ fighters, judo fighters out there will be spamming in my comment section and going, nah, big guys can be taken down. Trust me, I've been put into a proper arm bar before. I let my opponent do it. He weighed about 12 stone. And I let him put me in the perfect position. He was a well-trained, very well-trained BJJ fighter. And I also let my other friend, who was a judo fighter, do the same. And I let them put me in it perfectly, raising my arm up like that. And it hurt, it was very difficult, but I basically bicep killed them out. Not just using my bicep, I pulled them over. So I kind of pulled them over to this side and then bang, So there is power that you can use to get out of locks and holds and submissions, but the problem is I'm probably going to be fighting people my own size and strength. So if they're technical and they've got the power with it, there are other ways to do it, and that is to not put you in that position to start off with. And so I will be keeping it mostly to a striking position. If people want to try double underhooks and stuff like that, and try and throw me, then I have defense against that, because not only am I trained in Muay Thai, I am trained in Shotokan karate, but that's not really a fighting martial art, but it has its uses. It certainly allows you to help me learn how to develop power and hard hitting punches from a short distance. So karate is useful, but it's not as useful as things as Muay Thai, but it's a nice supplement to have. But I'm also partially trained or self-trained in Glima which is a Viking martial art from the old days. Obviously I don't know how to fight with a sword and shield or spear and shield, but they do have hand-to-hand combat in there as well, and their hand-to-hand combat is all about putting your opponent on the ground whilst keeping yourself upright. And the whole purpose for that is if you lose your sword, or your sword gets damaged, or you just, you know, shield walls get locked, you can take your opponent down, so that then you can either stab them on the ground with your sword or your knife, whatever you've got, but you normally use your say axe, which is a Viking knife, to stab them. So taking your opponent down quickly and efficiently, that's what Gleamer's about. It's all about, I think Gleamer translates into the word flash in English, and it is that. It's about bang, it's done really super quickly. And that's my defence primarily against BJJ and things like that, because when they're trying to do that, it does take a bit of time to set up yourself into a position for regards wrestling and stuff like that. But Gleamer's very quick. I do also have some experience in wrestling, never been formally trained, but again, my time on the doors, I learnt a bit of wrestling from the other doormen and from the patrons who wished to try wrestling against me. And I also have Pommeramp Pancratian, which I'm quite well trained in. Now, a lot of their moves can't be used in the ring because it's all about eye gouging and things like that. It's more street defence, but there's still some very good moves that are available in that martial art that I will be using. Now, I'm going to pause the video, do another pose down for you. It's getting really warm in this room, so I'm getting a bit sweaty, so I'm going to try and end the video with a pose down and then a way out, okay? But you'll see my upper body, my back, my legs, and I think I've discussed really enough details there regards everything. But the way I look, it might not be as good as last time I filmed myself, and my fighting style and that will be as good. You don't forget your technique, especially when you shadow boxing in your head the whole time. I'm practicing in bed. Oh, if someone did this, what would I do? You know, you know the movement of the hands, for example. You can still practice to some degree, even sat down. Okay, and the other thing is this ankle. It's just toughening me mentally because I'm still getting on with things, but I'm doing it through goddamn sheer agony. I'm in absolute agony, guys. So if I can fight and train on a broken ankle, and falling as well. I mean, I've broken my ankle by falling onto concrete twice, and I don't feel the concrete. I just bounce off it. So if I can bounce off concrete, bouncing off a ring, if I get thrown, that'd be a piece of piss. So it's good training. These injuries, they're good training. Good training for the mind and good training for the body in some ways, also providing you heal fully. So I'm just going to get that tape measure and we'll see where we can go from there. If I can't find it, guys, I'll just do a pose down. Ta-da! Exactly where I thought it was. So we'll just do one arm at a time. I don't really see the point in doing measurements too much. I know a lot of guys enjoy them. They enjoy seeing how big you are, because it inspires them to try and get to the same sort of size as you. But trust me, size, there's more to life than being big. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that. I don't want to fall over, but there we go. So I'm just over, I'm 18.25 inches bicep. Okay, so quite big arms, seeming I never train them. My chest, this one's always hard to do. I've done this a few times before, but this is a hard one to measure. It's certainly a hard one to measure and show off to you guys. Because you've got to get it as big as possible without it slacking at the back, and it's hard. Okay, there we go. So it's actually 51 inches, so I've actually lost an inch around my chest. How the hell have I done that? I think probably just through a bit of cardio, because I've been training chest like a motherfucker recently. That's all I can do, right? I've got a broken ankle. And I've been training like pull downs and stuff, because again I can do that, but I don't quite understand how I've lost an inch. Maybe just the way I did the tape measure. So we'll try again, one last time, just in case. And put it around the wrong way, just in case I got a false reading there. Nah, it's 51, guys. 51, just a shade under actually. So, or maybe I was over measuring it last time. One of the two. A 51-inch chest though is still pretty big. Okay, it's a waist. So I'll go around the biggest part of my waist to start off with. Okay. Helps if I use having a 21-inch waist would be good. Helps if I go the right way around. So I've got a 40.5-inch waist around the biggest part whilst relaxed, and around the hips. So, you know, it's quite a big, that's a bit bigger than I expected, to be honest. I was hoping for a 38, so I'm a little disappointed that I've got a bit of a belly on me. But I've got a 39-inch hip. Okay, so 39 here, and I do go an inch in here, which is what you're supposed to have, medically speaking. You're supposed to go in by an inch. That's a sign of good health. And if you lose that sort of taper of an inch going in, makes you prone to heart disease and that. There's a little fact for you guys in case you're interested. So the next thing is legs. So I'm just going to pause it and move the camera. Okay guys, so let's get a bit of light on that. So first of all, concentrate on the left leg. That's my new tattoo. I've just released a video, fully edited video of me getting it finished, and you can see how the tattoos interact with the tentacles from the monster on this side attacking the Viking ship with its sail. You can even see the wind and that, and tentacles at the back behind the ship as well. It's sort of engulfing the ship. It's about to take it down to sea the goddess Ran. But as you can see, my legs, they go out quite a lot up here. Now, you can measure legs in different ways, but the best way is to actually measure as high up as possible, because that's like the upper thigh. If you do it around the knee, I have done it before around the knee, but I'm not really interested in that today, because it's just going to slow the video down. I might as well just get you the biggest reading I can, and that's where we got to. So what's that? So 32.5-inch thigh round here. So yes, I might have a 39-inch waist and a 39-inch hips and a 40-inch waist, but I've got 32.5-inch legs to stick on that. So that's 64 inches of legs on a relatively narrow platform, believe it or not. So for me to actually go down and decrease, that hurt my ankle. There we go. I'm sorry guys, I'm gonna have to sit agony. I've got to be careful which position I sit in. Okay, so as you can see, even though I do have a big midriff, so to speak, comparatively, it's actually probably normal, if not actually on the slim side. I'm not calling myself slim. I know I'm not slim, but I have, as I say, a fighter's physique. I have enough fat to last 10 2-minute rounds, for example, enough water to do so. You know, you look at other fighters like Franco Bruno, for example, who was an English boxer. He was built like a bodybuilder. Fantastic. Well, he wasn't a fantastic boxer, but he was a very good, competent boxer. Could hit hard, and he always did well in the first 6 rounds. But the last 4 rounds, he'd burn out, and it weren't because of his cardio. He weren't lazy. He trained as hard as everyone else, regards running and cycling and sparring and everything else. But he didn't have that fat on him for his body to feed off. Believe it or not, your body will feed off your fat during a fight if it goes to you know, the end. And obviously as an amateur I'll only be doing 3 2-minute rounds, so it's less important. But if I go up into semi-pro or professional fighting, and I may even start in professional fighting, I hope so anyway, that's what I'm hoping for, but I might have to prove myself with a couple of amateur fights just before the producers allow me on stage, well, not on stage, in the ring, in front of paying customers. But I don't know where we are on that, because I say we've got good links. My friend is very good friends with a member within the organisation, so we might be able to shortcut it a little bit. And I am known to be a good fighter, so I have previous fighting experience, so I do have amateur fighting experience anyway, so I could just quote that my amateur fighting experience as a Muay Thai fighter, and that might be enough to then get me into pro fighting straight away. The pros, they do 3 5-minute rounds, I think it is, if I remember. Yeah, it changes with every organisation. I haven't researched the organisation completely yet, because I don't like to count my eggs before they hatch, if you know what I mean. You know, I've got the hope, obviously, of being able to fight competitively, and I think it's likely to happen. That's why I'm doing videos on it, but it all relies on someone else and someone else's connection to someone else. If it was relied on me, I'd be 100% in there. I'd be saying this is what happens, and if the guy lets me down, I will sort it out myself, but there will be a delay, because obviously I have to find the gym and make the connections that I need to make to be able to prove that I can fight and go in the ring and stuff. But yeah, overall I'm quite happy. My ankle I'm not happy about. It's got worse rather than better, but you know, it's one of those things. No more kicking for a little while. But I hope you enjoyed the pose down and the measurements. I thought I'd just add that just to show you, and also it gives you a quantitative. You've got qualitative figures to work with, in the sense that you can look at me and go, yeah, you're looking alright, Al, you're looking alright today, you know, you're not looking too bad, you know, or, you know, Al, seriously, you put a bit of podge around, you know, your midriff, best get rid of that, or try and keep on top of it at least. But I feel like that by giving you measurements, that gives you absolute figures to work with as well, because of course it might get smaller, but that might be a loss of muscle, or it might get bigger, but that might be because I'm putting fat on, you know, rather than muscle. What we want to do is we want to put on muscle and lose maybe a little bit of fat, just a little bit. I'm not looking to lose a lot of fat, because if I lose a lot of fat, then I'll simply burn out, as I described in the previous example, like Frank Bruno. A good enough place to go, guys. If my dog don't jump on it with me. Okay, I'm gonna have to do this really briefly, guys, because I can't hold my stick whilst I'm on here. Yeah, so I've lost four pounds. Hey guys, I've lost about 3.5 pounds, 4 pounds since the last weigh-in. I'm surprised. I thought I would have put on a bit of weight, but it just shows you that my diet is correct. I'm doing okay, and the fitness work that I have been able to do up until yesterday has proven to be effective. So actually I might be a little slimmer than perhaps I was on the first video, who knows. Anyway guys, I hope I'm certainly not losing muscle mass, but I tested my strength yesterday and I was pretty strong, so but we'll see. Hopefully in a few days time I'll do some bench press and we'll see how we go. Lovely guys, thanks for watching, I'll see you soon.